I think that J-Mook is a monster is a fairly non-controversial statement, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think I'm missing one of my speakers here. One second.
God, I don't think he lost a game to a Fox player this tournament. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a wild stat, especially given the what seems to be the common sentiment among Sheets players on that matchup.
Yeah, like,
Uh,
I mean, the matchup is still like nonsense,
yeah.
regardless. It's not even that bad. It's just annoying.
All right, there we go. I think I got my audio.
All right, I'm just gonna keep talking because I figure that's the easiest way to know if we have it or not.
Yeah. Did you change? You get sick recently or change your mic?
I haven't changed my mic, but I probably got sick.
Okay, your timbre is slightly different. I thought it was my audio for a second.
Oh, I have a camera on.
Oh, timbre, like the
Timbre.
yeah.
Oh, I see. I see. I don't know. Wait, what is timbre?
It's like the way your voice resonates. So it's like there's like the pitch of the voice and like the timbre is like in the particular quality of the sound.
Interesting. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. In any case, let's talk melee.
Yeah. So
So,
I've been just kind of grinding away in Uncle Punch, not playing a lot online. Just kind of practicing different setups and with Marth.
mm-hmm.
One thing I've noticed is I'm getting a lot of good ideas, and when I'm able to properly get all my tech, um, I do hit those ideas turn out to be good ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I am struggling with a little bit of consistency in just like hitting. I think what my big one is I am not releasing my trigger quickly enough for a lot of movements.
Mm-hmm.
And so I end up buffering shield on landing, which is screwing me up a lot. Uh, so that's one thing I need to work on and focus. I have been definitely improved my jump cancel grabs, though it's still not quite automatic for me to have the correct timing. I have to kind of remember to do it right. Um,
That's
but
normal.
I can hit them much more consistently, and I have been
Ooh, can I ask you something about that?
yeah.
Are you better going in one direction or the like? Are you better when you're going forward, or are you better when you're going, like dashing the other way?
The dash distance doesn't, or the dash direction doesn't seem to matter,
Okay.
because it's just the same movement for the hand. But I have noticed that the timing of it does affect my consistency. Um, I've been going for a lot of like quick, like not quite pivot, like dash dance turnaround grabs. And those tend to be fairly consistent. But coming out of a longer dash, I think there's something I need to rewire my head on that one still a little bit.
Gotcha. So when you say coming out of a longer dash, do you mean like if you're like dashing away and then dashing the other way into jump cancel grab?
Yeah, so I'll do like a dash away or like if I do like dash through, short dash back, jump cancel grab, like I'll probably hit it. But if I'm doing just like a full dash away and then like a full dash in or something, there's a good chance I miss it.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just that I have been practicing shorter with shorter dashes, and so I'm just not used to the longer timings yet. So it's my brain isn't primed to hit the correct timing for the button presses at the right timing in the dash.
Right. Okay. So this might make sense for us to like kind of like think about how the input operates because it's not that we're doing like dash jump cancel grabs like the quick ones like the 1 2 like where you just do 1 2 3.
Mhm.
Like the only part of this like what's the part of the input that's changing if you're doing the long dash?
Uh, I think I'm not. There's like a window in my mind where I'm primed to like do it correctly, and then otherwise, if I'm not in that timing window, like my brain is reverting back to the old habit of just hitting them on the same frame, which isn't or like a frame too early on the Z, which it just isn't working for me.
Okay. So it might make sense to like because okay, got it. So it's like associate it's an association problem. Open Uncle
Yeah.
Punch for me. Like, show me your screen.
Okay. Firing a Uncle Punch.
Yeah, because this happens a lot. This happens with a lot of times when people are like have a wave that they do things. Like it happens with me with my L cancels because I switched to Z. But yeah, like sometimes my hands just go back to R. So do a long one.
I gotta turn off the music here 1 second.
No worries.
It'd drive me insane. Option sound. There we go. All right. Oh, I need to share my screen too.
Yep, that's okay.
There we go.
Okay, so let's do a long dash jump cancel grab.
What?
Let's turn input display on. Yep, see, general options. Yep, there we go. So just we'll break this down. We'll just do them we'll just do long dash, jump cancel grab. We don't have to do dash dances. So it's like try to do like 3 in a row, going either way. These look good.
Yeah, it's like if I'm mentally primed to do it, I hit it. But like my brain wants to do this one, which is too quick.
Those look fine. Like some of them look fine.
Yeah, it's like I'm slowly transitioning to the correct timing, but it's kind of hit or miss right now unless I'm like dialed into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more consistent than it used to be, but it's still not great.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like these look good for the most part. Like, I think okay. So like that, I'm less worried about that because, yeah, especially on long dashes. Like on long dashes, if you accidentally dash grab, I think it's generally like it's like more forgivable anyway. Let's now figure out the rest of it. So let's talk about the next thing. So after the JC grabs, what were you gonna bring up?
The JC grabs have been getting better, but still giving me trouble. And then the other one is I know a lot of times when I L cancel my aerials, I've realized I've been holding buffering shield because I'm holding the trigger too long.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do unintentionally, or hard to do intentionally, because like if I'm thinking about it, like I just do it right.
When do you do the L cancel when you're hitting people?
Shortly, if it's a short hop aerial, it's like I just kind of do it like a short period of time after I input the aerial. But if I'm fast falling, I'll do it sooner. If I'm not, I'll do it later.
Okay.
I don't really put a conscious input to it. If I think I am going to get a hit, I'll try and time it for a hit stun.
Let's go to L cancel training for a second. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the target on once we're on back. Yep. So target, please. Yep. I want you to do a bunch of short hop fairs, and here's what we're gonna do. When you hit the fair input the L cancel during hit lag if you're doing any kind of falling aerial. So how does that feel?
Fast falls.
Yeah, so fast fall, remember, like you can't fast fall during hit lag. So what I would try to do with your fair with the fairs in general, try to like input your fair just slightly before you reach the peak of your jump, and then fast fall once you get to the peak of your jump. So like do the fair slightly later. There you go. How does this feel?
Pretty natural.
Nice. And how about does the L cancel timing feel?
About what I usually do.
Okay. But do you find that like do you find it makes sense to do it during the hit lag frames?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, that's like I think the easy that's like the kind of like the cheat code for L canceling on hit.
Yeah, makes sense. I think it's more of like when I'm in a high pressure scenario or like trying to go really fast. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like not all the like my inputs get kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They get less precise. Get kind of muddy. And then one of the first things to go is my quick release of the triggers.
Gotcha. But to me, that almost sounds like it's a panic. Like to me, that almost sounds like it's a stress response, though. It's not really you know what I mean. So I feel like I almost wonder if like addressing this source of this, if like finding ways to release the tension from our hands is going to be more useful than trying to like than anything else. Because I feel like if our hands are just seized up, like we're not going to be able to execute anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah. So how do we get our hands to ease up? Like what's something we can like build into like what we're doing in a high pressure like in a high pressure situation? What's something we can do to like give us a second to breathe?
Like I think when I'm in those sorts of situations,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I'm tensing up because I'm trying to focus really hard on like what is exactly the right time for me to, get my spot dodge or like throw a fair or reversal or like I only have like a brief moment to hit this tech chase. And in those moments I think I'm tensing up because I'm like, oh, I got to hit it exactly right here. Um, so maybe it's an issue of being like more confident in having plan Bs where it's like I don't necessarily like it's obviously hitting it right the first time is always what you want to do. But if I know that I have a backup plan, if I don't hit it right the first time, I'm not going to be as liable to like tense up and like put undue burden on myself during those moments.
Hmm. Okay.
That's just the first thing that comes to my mind. I don't know if that's a
No, no,
good.
I think you're onto something with like we're too focused on plan Bs. I'd almost wonder like if we're going into this fight unprepared and
Mm-hmm.
we're not like at our best because we're tense and not positioned right to like act, does it even make sense to stay in that fight?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it also removes our. It also is like tapping into what you're getting at, right? Like, which is we're relying too much on Plan B. So I'm almost like, what if we just let this situation go? Like, what if we buffer roll that, get the hell out of there, and then just like find a spot, like dash out of the roll and find a spot that we can like actually work from. Because like
Yeah,
we can't like if it's a bad fight, it's a bad fight, you know?
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Just
So
just know to just back off and reestablish neutral.
yeah, get the fuck out of there. We're Marth. We'll win the next. We'll win the fight one of these days. It's fine. Like we have the tools. But what we can't do is we can't like scrap. We're not good at that.
Right. Yeah,
So,
and I think part of that is the Falco habit still kicking in. When I
mm-hmm.
get in a scrap situation, I'm like, oh, I just want to like shine out a shield or dare them or something. And I don't have those tools,
You know, I
and our equivalents aren't as good.
it's really interesting you say that because like one of the biggest things I'm learning on like from talking with KJH is just like how it doesn't make sense to scrap with Falco in a lot of spots where it's like conventionally we think he does. But like the other day, like when he has a video on this, but like I was having trouble versus a Fox player, so I looked at one of his videos. And one of the things he pointed out was that like after you miss a gimp or an edge guard on Fox, if he grabs the edge, just like get the fuck out of there. Like do not stay like get on like jet full hop to the top platform, go to the side platform, like waveland teeter on side platform, just do something, like get out of there because you do not want to have to deal with like the ledge dash shine, ledge dash up smash, ledge dash approaching there. Like you don't want to deal with that mix up. It makes zero sense to stay in that fight. And I was like, that is actually exactly how Cowbell killed me a lot. So that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's kind of a thing. That's a rule I do find myself following quite often. Is if Fox or Samus gets ledge, I just fuck off and let him have it.
Right. And
There's just too many mix-ups that are too dangerous.
right. And like that's kind of like so what I'm saying here is like I don't think that this is maybe necessarily like is it like so we can see the necessity of this with Falco in certain spots. So I think that we just need to like kind of like expand like we in the same way that we don't want to stay near Ledge Fox. We also don't want to stay near like if Marth's misaligned, he's really at his best when he has all his ducks in a row.
Yeah. So like if I'm here, like that doesn't make any sense for me to try and fight. I gotta do this and that.
Try dashing out of your buffer roll. Let's turn act out of lag on because I think that this is like gonna give you like this is actually a really useful defensive skill. So yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah. So let's go to a training lab and let's just like do let's do roll away or roll forward or just like roll into like some kind of like action. That looked good. Does it not tell us?
I just turned it on. Maybe it's act out of leg on. Act out of
no, it wouldn't be out of shield.
Oh.
Does it actually just not count it?
Maybe.
That's so dumb.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's a new one punch, so maybe it's different. I don't know. Let's try shield just to see what happens. Yeah, it's just not counted.
Oh, that's so dumb. All right, whatever. Yeah, let's try roll back. Let's try roll back and then try to F smash as early as possible. There you go, insider. Yeah. So what is the sound like? When does like listen to the sound of his roll? Yeah, now try dashing out of it. That's good.
Yeah, it does like a pat sound.
Yeah, it's like almost like a rattling noise or a shuffling noise.
Yeah, that last tap briefly after that is the first actual frame.
Yeah. I bet it's really good that you can use sound on this to like know when you can act because like Marth's roll is really long. It's a little laggier than normal rolls, I think by 4 frames, but like it's still really long. And if somebody is like approaching you in the corner or like trying to grab or something, you can get out of there. You can see how this would probably be useful, right?
Yeah.
What's another way we can get out? So probably let's try a wave dash out of shield. Try to like jump before you let go of your shield. There you go. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So like you do everything with one trigger, right?
Yeah, my left trigger is is digital press only.
Okay, got it. So you don't use the right trigger for anything?
No, my left hand index finger is like more scar tissue than anything else. So I have it plugged for digital press only. And then my right trigger is for L canceling and light shield.
Okay, so it's analog only, right?
Yeah, so right is analog, left is digital.
Interesting. Okay, gotcha. Do you ever use your light shield?
Not really. It's a habit I never picked up on. I guess sometimes if I'm cognizant, like in between stocks, I'll like do the stand on platform and light shield thing. But I don't remember to do it very often.
Do you nair into light shield? So wait, I thought so wait, what button are you L canceling with?
Right. My digital analog, yeah.
Okay, so when the hard shield comes up, why is that happening?
Oh, I think that's a full press. I think I have my triggers misset. I redid my fob recently, so I think I just have that screwed up.
Okay. So I guess the thing here, I'd say, okay, so you mentioned that when you have trouble recalling to do, like you have trouble implementing some of like the improvements you've made. When it's like sometimes though, because sometimes you do get it. What situations? Do you have any of those situations where like it was difficult? Do you have any like match footage we can look at? Because I think this is actually a VOD review, like something we can do with VOD review.
Yeah, actually. Let me pull up. I was playing some sets yesterday, I think. Was that yesterday? I don't even know. These are not the games I remember last playing, so I must have my last play session must be complete blank mentally. There was a fox I was playing against, and I was just not doing good.
Okay, were they like how strong were they relative to you? Like, are they
A little bit? They were like not that much better.
But like a little bit.
Yeah, like a little bit better, and I think the better was largely because here we go.
Give me like two. Give me like two matches.
About 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt like I was like missing. Though I would have been winning much more had I been just like hitting things consistently. I don't remember any of these games.
Just give me just like two or give me just like 2 or 3 or something.
Yeah, here's these two they won, and
one
here's
you
a
won.
random stadium game I won.
Nice. Okay, perfect. So let's see here. Excellent. I'm just gonna bring these over into Slippy, and then we'll take a look-see.
I just copied the same files up, two of them over twice.
You know, we're fine. It's fine. We're fine. It's all good. Let's see. Okay, so this is good. Let me just lower the volume so it doesn't kill us all, because that would be bad. And we'll start with the Pokemon Stadium game that they win, because I think that one will be a little easier to work with. And I will share my screen. Cool. Ta-da! Okay, so let's take a look-see.
Alright, here we go. Full screen.
Okay, so... Good, good. Like what I'm seeing here. Okay. So what was so, let's talk about this. Tell me, what's the plan here after this fair?
I think... Yeah, let's go back and play that one more time.
Yeah.
I think I didn't expect them to go... I didn't expect the crouch cancel on the F smash, and so I was prepared to follow up on a completely different angle. And so when they went low like that, I was like, oh, what the fuck? Because realistically, there's plenty of time for me to just grab ledge or do like a runoff double jump dare or something.
I have no problem with the fair you did.
Yeah, okay. The fair itself, I think both the timing and spacing are a little bit off.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes, so late fair is good, but it wasn't late enough, and I should have been further out.
Yeah, the timing is fine. You're just too far back.
Yeah, because that would have popped him outwards at a good angle. I think here though, like dare seems like the best option, like just short hop dare out and just kill him.
I don't think you have time for that.
And then I whiff the L cancel as well.
You can do that dare, but it's like super tight. It's like basically frame perfect, because like dare hits on around like 7, your Marth jump squats for 4, and he falls for 13 frames before grabbing the edge. 14 frames before grabbing the edge. So you'd have to basically be perfect. I'm not sure that like that's necessarily like. Do you think that dare is being that perfect is reasonable here after we just like missed something?
I mean, I think because my thought is I'm reacting. Like, if I see him firefoxing, I can directly upwards. I can just time my jump at that time, and so I have a lot more leeway to react.
I see. So sorry. So you're saying that like the plan is like get him here, and then what do you do?
And then kind of just do like just do a short hop, kind of like but further forward, same like where I did here,
Yeah.
but a little later, and just be ready to dare him coming up instead of fair.
I
Well, I
mean
guess
that.
that's techable. I don't know.
I mean, like you can make down your work here easily enough. But I want to focus on what we do with this play, because we just
Yeah.
missed. We went for a fair and we missed it. And I think that like, rather than focusing on what we do whenever we get everything right perfectly the first time, maybe there's some value in like looking at what we do when things go a little bit awry, but like how we can rescue those.
Right.
So like after this, you're actionable right now. What should we do?
Jab.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, let's take a look at like how we got to, because what you do is you basically stand here, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's figure out like let's figure out this process here. Because like what we're gonna do is we're gonna work backwards here so that we can recognize this situation better in the future. So right now we're standing, like this is yeah, Marth stands. So that's what we did. And what came before this? Marth whiffed fair.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Marth fairs. And then misses up B. Misses up B. So then this would be what came before this. Fox up B, right?
Yeah, so up B.
Fox up B's from up B's from below stage. Yes. Cool. And how did we put him here?
CCF smash.
Pretty sure there's something in front of. There's something in between those. Because you have smashed him, yes, but there was something that like you interrupted something to force him low.
Oh, I down tilted again, didn't I?
You down tilted his illusion, yeah. Here, we'll play it back. So let's just rewind just a smidge. Here. So you get this. Boom, boom, boom. There you go.
Okay.
So you forced him low with a D-tilt. So it would be Marth D-tilts. Marth D-tilts. Or D-tilts. Hits. Bracket hits. And then here would be Fox Illusions. To stage. Yeah. So then, what do we? The idea here is then we're just like we look at like the flow of the games of like the actions and how they go through the different game states. Like we read them here. So Fox Illusion at the stage. Marth D-tilt him, forced him low. Fox upbeat from below. Marth tried to catch it with fair, missed because the upbeat was just a little too far. So then the thing we're changing is instead of standing, Marth jabs. Does this make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, so why do you think we're like writing out all the steps here?
I think like it gives us a decision tree that we can play with and we can find like where the different points in the decision tree we can iterate on.
There's that.
And find better ways to optimize.
Exactly. And the other thing that it does is it gives us a way of seeing the play. Like we want to jab the up B basically, where possible to force Fox back off stage. Like that is a thing that we want to do more of. Well, this is a way that we can that game state sometimes happens. It's giving us like line of sight into like the different things that happen that lead up to those moments where we want the new play. And it will vary because this is a deep game with lots of situations. But it's kind of like we're looking at our driving route in a way, if that makes sense. Because like we can see, there's all these ways we can get there. So with this in mind, let's look at this combo situation. So, what do you want to do? Actually, no. We'll look at a cleaner one. We'll look at a cleaner one because you take the kill here.
I got an accidental full hop there.
Yeah.
Probably what happened.
Yeah, that looked like tech skill upon review. Nice. Good.
But it's too low. Should have just gone for the grab.
Yeah, so like, let's look at this. How did we get this grab? So we got this grab here. We go for that. So how do you know he's so are you looking at his percent when you're like fighting him after he respawns?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Like, it's something I'm trying to be better at as I learn the more like nuanced combos. But I probably just didn't check the percent and went for something off instinct there. Without using that information.
Cool. So this is a situation that we've seen a number of times. So like, and this is one that we sometimes like don't pick the right move for. Like we go for a move that like doesn't hit the spot he's in. So let's look at this one. So you hit him off stage with tip or F smash, and then you go for. I like how quickly you get here. This is good. The down tilt we wind up getting hit for doing it. So like, what's something that we could do here instead?
Fair or again jab or F tilt. I think jab is best.
Yeah, you can pick one. Like you can't pick like 3 moves. We got it because like one improvement at a time. So like, what are we going with?
I think here again, just jab.
I agree.
It just covers all the ambiguous heights that Spaces can go for here.
Yeah, exactly. So like, let's write out what happens. So Marth D tilts, bracket misses. Because like, you know, Fox goes over it. So then let's figure out what happened before. So Fox Illusions, right? Because that's what he's doing. And then how did we put Fox here?
The F smash.
Right. So, and then I would say that happened up here because we have to do something before that, right? Like after that. So Marth tipper F smash. No tips F smash. And then what did we do after that?
Run into wave dash into down tilt.
Wave dash. Plus, yeah, run wave dash twice.
Yeah.
No dash, dash, wave dash, times 2. And then it's Fox Illusion, and then we're gonna go with jab. And that is the new process. Because we can see, like, Marth, like, we can kind of see why this doesn't work. And then Marth jabs.
There's my other thought here. Is that at a lower percent, I don't think the down tilt is necessarily a bad call. Because I get popped up here by the illusion. But if I'm at a lower percent, holding down on the down tilt means I can still stay grounded and just grab him out of the recovery on the illusion. But if I do hit him, it's a higher reward. So like it's a higher EV. Maybe not. Yeah, it feels like a higher EV play to go to the down tilt if I'm at a lower percentage. But I
feel like they have the same EV.
Almost 80.
I feel like they have the same EV. They both kill him.
Yeah.
Like they both force him into they both wind up in the same spot though. Like if we jab him here, he goes here. If you down tilt him, he goes like slightly further. But these both die to the same thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the other thing I'd comment there is, do you know when Fox's illusion knocks you over?
I don't, not off the top of my head.
I'm reasonably certain it is 0.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So at
even when I'm crouching.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be like actually crouch canceling it for it to not do that. So if you are down tilting and you miss barely like this. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're at 0 or any percent. Like, it'll knock you over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so the jab, like... Exactly. So, like, the highest reward play here is the one that, like... The reason jab and down tilt are, like, good is because they, like, form a tight coverage zone over here. But down tilt is really only good if he, like, dips below a certain point. Like, I would say if they're above Marth's head... If they're around Marth's head... if they're like, how would I describe this? So, you see how his shoes are above where your down tilt would be?
Mm-hmm.
If they're above, if his shoes are above where your down tilt would be, it's probably not the move.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because like, you don't want to let him just have this lane back to like stage basically. Yeah, and like it's pretty significantly. So like I would say, yeah, watch the shoes. Because it'll give you like information about the alignment. Because remember, this hits downwards like this, right? So like it's also like this is good for like getting sweet spots and stuff. Like it's really good at that, but it's not actually that good at defending like this space up here. Which is
And
like
I mean, I feel like I should know this too, like just by instinct, because I've played enough. I've been in the Spacey's position enough to know that this is an extremely common and fairly effective mix-up to go for. Is just a slightly early illusion and catch them slipping.
yeah. It's interesting that we use the word mix up a lot because to me this is just like this is like classic. To me this is just kind of like where good ordering comes in. Because like the illusion happens as a result of like let's look at like the trajectory you send him off at in slow-mo for a second. Because my argument is that like I don't even know like is this really a mix-up?
I mean,
Like it is a mix-up in the sense that it requires a different response, sure, but like
yeah, that's kind of
is
how
it?
I think about it.
But I'm not like to me a mix-up has to have an unreactable component of it for it to really like be a mix-up, you know. And because of how he stops in midair, I just don't know if this really counts as like that because he doesn't move until like frame 22.
Right, right. See, there's no preemptive decision making required.
Right.
I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
Like it's a mix up in the sense that like there's under pressure and stuff like depending on what he's looking for. Yeah, there's like it to me that's just variety. And like there is value in variety, but this isn't like a true mix up in my books just because it doesn't yeah, like if Marth wants to play this perfectly every time he can.
But
Like
yeah,
it's
like
hard. It's hard. It's probably not possible. It's not probably like humanly doable, but like yeah, he can.
yeah, it is. It's technically a checkmate within human reaction time.
Mm. Also, I want to point out something.
Mm-hmm.
So he is not above. His shoes are not above your sword.
Yeah. Got him.
So after the detail, what do we do? What do we do to like kill him? Are you happy with the counter?
Eh. I've been trying to do it more, but it always and the counter always feels like it's not ever it's like it never feels like the best tool for the job, but like a decent tool for a lot of jobs if the fox is low enough. Um, I've just been playing around with it, and again, I feel like if there's time for me to just like grab ledge, like I should just be doing that.
I don't know if I'd grab ledge here. I might grab ledge here.
Yeah, I mean, grab ledge double jump dare is, depending on the angle they go for, can be really good. Like I don't like at this level, foxes aren't teching that.
Yeah, but we shouldn't base our things off like the fox sucks, because like
Yeah, that's fair.
we'll eventually get the foxes that don't suck, and then that'll be hard, like harder than it is already. Let me ask you something. So where do you counter? Do you counter where you are?
I think I do. Yeah.
Okay. So with that in mind, let's make a ball.
Probably roll to ledge and then counter.
Yeah, like we could move the counter here. Like this makes some amount of sense. Because this is basically where the counter hitbox is going to be for Marth. So if Marth is here, this is where the counter hits. Because it's like a little bigger than him, which is cool. Here's my concern. So this is Fox's up B path. Like he can do this, right?
Yeah.
Because like he moves down when he shoots, so it'll be like his starting point will be like around here. But like, yeah, like to me the biggest problem is just that like all he has to do is just avoid the counter, and then like he's basically fine. So, and he has like some amount of range. Like it does catch some angles. Like it's not like it doesn't do anything, but I just wonder if there's like a better way to like do this.
Mm.
See what I mean?
Yeah, because fox can wall ride and kind of sweet spot around it.
Mm-hmm. Like he can do that kind of thing.
And he can go like. I feel like the only thing that reliably covers all of these is a runoff fast fall up B.
Yeah, just going off and meeting him is fine. Like, you could absolutely do that. So if you're going to do that, how would that look? Like, if you're going to go off and meet him, how does that look?
Just dash instant fast fall with the drift forward.
Drift forward.
And then as soon as I get close enough and hit him, ideally avoiding the weird Firefox hitboxes, I just upbeat back to stage.
It's probably really hard with your drifting forward.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I like the runoff fast fall. I think that makes a ton of
the
sense.
runoff fast fall side B, up B, maybe.
Well, I would just go below him. Like, you just go here, double jump here, up B.
Okay.
Because then you'll hit him away like that. The other thing that makes some amount of sense to me is just like kind of like I think that like if you're gonna drift forward, what you want to do is like so Marth runs off like this, kind of like makes this shape when he goes off. Like naturally he goes something like this or like something like this. So I think that you actually want to hold it, like you want to go off forward, but then hold back a little bit, or like release the stick sort of, so you don't go forward too far. And then fast fall around here into fair. See what I mean? Like, so you're kind of like making like making this kind of motion, and then you're putting your fair here. Does this make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that like either this or up B makes a ton of sense. The other one that like I'm surprised we haven't mentioned is just running off and double jumping with down air. Like just putting like, because it just puts like, see what I mean? Like it just puts like a giant sword like this, and it covers like everything. It covers everything.
Because my thought with that is if he decides to wall ride, then he can tech it. And Dare is super leggy. Which is why I decided I think like just going out there is better, because the closer you get to Fox, the smaller that cone gets.
True.
So it's just less you have to cover.
That's true. So yeah, like you're worried about this point basically, like this pathway like on here and here. Yeah, that's fair. Like I think that's like probably that is like a good consideration. Yeah, if we're not going to play for down air because we're worried about this, then I think that yeah, you're right. It probably makes sense to go off and either up B him or fair him. Could probably fair into up B too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that like the idea, so whatever, like if we had to like kind of like surmise this situation, what did we like, so how did we get into this spot? So like we go for counter, like that's last step. And we're not super thrilled with it. So like, let's say, so if we want, so what happens before that? How do we get him off stage here?
We hit him with the down tilt.
Right, so D tilt. And then hits.
Yeah. And
then he up Bs. Cool. So then let's clean this up a bit. So Fox at B's low. Fox at B's. And then we like wait and counter. Like Marth waits and counter. Marth waits, counter. And counters. So this is like boom, boom, boom. And then how did we like it was like a back, like we detailed his illusion, right?
Yeah.
Fox illusion. Cool. Detail. This is actually a reason. This actually comes to one other thing I'm going to point out once we're done with this one. We'll reuse this diagram. Like, we'll reuse this screenshot because there's something about counter that I think that I think that counter is interesting because it's really good sometimes, but like you have to know when it is. So we'll go over that if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah, that was what I thought I was thinking about too earlier, where it's like counter isn't a general purpose tool, like as we can see here from this diagram.
Mm-hmm.
But when the Fox's options to get back to ledge are more limited, counter becomes more powerful because he doesn't have if he's low enough that he can't go over you, it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's like, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to look at. So Marth, and then what we're saying is Marth runs off stage. And fairs slash up B. Cool. So now let's adjust Fox's position here, because I think that this is a really critical concept with counter in general. It's like, so we have all this stuff going on. Like, actually, there's probably a faster way. Just clear everything, right? Erase all markups. Love it. Cool. So let's say Fox is starting from a slightly different location. So he's starting from here right now, basically. But, like, what if he's starting from here? So,
Yeah, because he doesn't get... And because if he's low, if he's both low and in, then he doesn't have a effective angle to wall ride. So he has to go through the counter zone, even because if he, especially on Pokemon, like if he goes too far in, he just dies.
yeah.
So he doesn't have the option to wall ride to shorten the upward distance. And so there's no way out of the counter range, and then that sends him outwards in a position where we can then pretty reliably just kill him with fair or something off stage.
Yeah, I would also encourage you to not really worry about the wall ride too much, because there's ways that you can there's ways that you can modify counter so that you like fight the wall ride more effectively. So as an example, like you might have seen, like, I don't know if you've seen this, but people like sometimes like short off the counter or like ledge hop counter.
I've done like a runoff counter and then double jump back up a couple of times. It's pretty funny when it works.
Yeah, do me a favor. Do you have Uncle Punch running?
I can fire it up here.
Sure. We're gonna go into, like, I want to, like, because I think that this is kind of cool how this works.
We doing Armada Shine?
Yeah, Armada. Actually, you know what? I'll show you on my end because I think it'll be easier. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'll just load up. Yeah, Uncle Punch. Okay, that was not it. Right, because of the game, because the playback is running. Okay, so I'll just have to close the playback for a second. This should work. Cool. 1 second. Stop that. Oh, what the hell? That is not supposed to do that. Let's try that again. Okay, cool. It's working now. So let's show you something real quick. So let's turn Height Fighter Collision on. And Frame Advance on. So, camera mode. Zoom. Advanced, actually. Sound, then this to go in. This way. And then I think it's this way to pan. Cool. So you can see that, like, we're not really, like... So you can see that there's, like, kind of... There's things that happen with Marth here.
Mm-hmm.
When he's like doing his counter here. So let's create a save state. So the cool thing about like counter is you can actually do tricks with it like this.
Oh.
Yeah. So you see how it's like kind of like going below the stage now, right?
Oh, because I do his ECB, and so if I'm doing like shenanigans off ledge, I can actually bring it lower.
Yep, and you can also like do it with his short hop too. See what I mean?
Oh. Yeah.
Like that's really low.
Yeah.
So the one thing about counter that I'd recommend, don't really worry about the wall ride. Wall ride really isn't that good against it. Like it isn't. The things that are good against it, like you can squeeze past it, but this is pretty hard to squeeze past. I think we can agree on that, right?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that short hop counter maneuver before and never understood like what was going on. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, so like let's flag that actually. But so like I'm gonna close out Uncle Punch so we can get back to what you're doing. But so here there's nothing the Fox can really do about like he said, he gets more options when he can like fan out. But the problem is that the second he goes this way, he instantly dies. Right? So like if he can't go straight, if he cannot go directly vertically up, which he can't here because of where we're situated, by like hanging over the edge like this, in this spot, because he's not really going to be here. He's going to be like over here or something. But like I haven't drawn these at the right slant, but you get what I mean. Like it's as long as the counter hitbox, like the counter box, overlaps with his like going straight up angle, he can't avoid it. That is when counter is broken.
Okay.
But if
that makes sense.
Yeah, so like the real question here is like, so at what point, where does Fox need to be for counter not to be good? Let's figure that out. So assuming we're here, could Fox be here?
Yeah. Yeah, Fox can be there and he can get around counter.
It's hard, but like he can do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, heck, if he goes straight up, he can drift in on the fall too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because like he's not that far off stage. So
I think
yeah,
our max angle for Fox is actually like slightly outwards. That's
yeah,
pretty niche.
yeah. So let's. What about over? What about over here?
Uh, yeah, he's fine, but like he's got to be real precise.
Okay. So where would you? So if you had to draw a boundary, like let's change the fill on this so that it's no, so that it's like orange or something, and like a little less shaded. Cool. So where would you say the boundary goes for where like he is for where he is for where he can where counter works?
It's slightly,
Which will make this blue.
very slightly inside the vertical orange line.
Slightly inside. So basically here,
Yeah,
like around here, basically.
yeah, because I think there is like the very niche like drift options for Fox of like the slight outward angle.
Uh huh.
But otherwise, it's basically that horizontal line on the edge of the counter hitbox.
Right. As long as they're below us, and here, like there's nothing he can do. There's basically nothing he can do about counter.
Right.
Right. So this is how you kind of like know for counter. I'd argue it's like a slightly more like it's probably like around here. It's like I think it's around here sort of, but like because like I think that if he goes straight up here, he winds up hitting this edge. Like if he goes like up, he winds up hitting this edge of it. But like
Mm.
you could like
Yeah.
again, we're splitting hairs at this point. The point is like around here, it's like around this general box, and you can modify this as you like as you learn or like change it in your head, whatever works. But this it's around this because like Fox is bigger than like just like a line. He's like a whole body, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's around here, but you see what we're getting at. It's like over here. So what about over here? What do we do if he's over here?
We just got to go out there and get him.
Yeah. So what would you call like what are the main so when we're going off stage, if he's coming up at this angle, what do you think like where is it easy to fair him? Like when can we just
Uh,
go off and like run off and like fair him basically?
there's anywhere where we can safely get where we can double jump on the way back up. Um, I guess that's not super clear. I think an easy, like a not super precise but easy benchmark is he above or below the stage? Because if he's above the stage, then that's just Ken combo food.
Okay. So you're right. So we don't run off we don't run off well, so where does our runoff fair hit if we just do it instantly?
Oh, if we run our fair hits, there's like it goes about a little lower than it goes like about to where Fox is.
Sorry, where
Um,
does it hit above us? Like, where does it
oh,
hit vertically? Like, what's the range on its vertical hit?
uh, yeah, about there. Maybe a little lower if we're falling, if we fast fall.
Okay, but like we don't have to fast fall. So
Right.
like we're just defining boundaries here. So this is like so we would be able to hit with fair, and like if fair hits at a curve, so like it hits like kind of like this area, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And it like because we can fast fall with it the entire time, or we can like choose not to, we can probably hit pretty far out, like something like there's a convergence point somewhere here. It's like something like
Mhm.
this if we just keep going full forward, and if we fast fall, it's like a little further back, sorta. Right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Uh huh. So now we're getting somewhere here now, because what we're doing here is we're basically defining like where we can go for different types of like hits.
Yeah. This is our flow chart.
Yeah, if we pull back, we can do it here. So all of these zones, where can't we fare? Like, there's going to be a boundary where we can't, even if we pull back, where we can't fare anymore. Where would you say it is?
Uh,
Where do
I
we?
mean, it's definitely like outside. If I jump off the stage, like and full drift back, it's anywhere that is slightly in front of Marth or further back.
Well, we can run off and pull back, so we don't have to use the jump. But I
Yeah.
agree. So like, it's kind of like if we pull back, it's like immediately. It's probably like basically here, right?
Yeah, and those are weak fares, so that's our follow up is like up B
Yeah.
or double jump something.
Yeah, so it's like so this would be like this is one like so what we're doing is like this is one fair territory. We have to pull back here.
Miss a chance to say ferritory.
Mm-hmm. And then this is like Oh, Ferritory. Yo, this is our Ferritory. Yeah. And then this is like, these are the easier ones, but these are the easier ones. And then there's kind of like, what I want to call attention to is there is like one pocket of space that's like kind of comes up within Zane's matches a lot. You might have noticed it. It's like around here. Everyone recovers here versus Zane. This is why. Because there isn't like, we can't really go down and fair easily here. This is like the no-no zone. This is where we do not want the opponent to recover into.
Interesting.
Cool, huh? Because I know you've seen this before. Like, I'm pretty sure. If we throw on Zane,
you said that in like 30 different matches, all played back instantly in my head. Like, I've definitely seen that many times.
Yeah, like if we see like, I'm pretty sure if we turn on Moki Zane right now, like we can find this in like on the Dreamland game like 3 times.
Yeah.
So like this is where it's like, so it's all about like where do we have reach, like where can we actually hit and control consistently. That is really what edge guarding fundamentally boils down to. So this is what I want, like this is what I'm hoping. So what are you getting out of this? Like what are you learning when we like do this together?
I'm getting, there are like very clear cues based on Fox's spacing or positioning off stage, where he choose like where Fox goes and where he chooses to begin his recovery move. Set very clear definitions of what moves are effective against that recovery, and we can map those out so that there is very little ambiguity in what to go for in different scenarios.
This is where Marth's superpowers are really valuable too, actually. Because, like, let me ask you something. So we've created this diagram for Fox, clearly. Is it any different versus Falco?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, it is. A couple of considerations come to mind. Falco's side B is less reactable.
Sure.
So, although that's not necessarily the topic of this particular diagram.
No, but we could include side B easily enough. It's like side B is basically like there's a line here, and it's like if they're above it, then we jab. If they're below it, then we don't.
My other thought is because Falco's up B is much shorter. The range or where counter is bad is a lot less impactful. Like there are a lot fewer options that Falco can go for around counter.
Okay. So minor differences, but like this basically more or less works, though, I'd argue.
Yeah, it's broadly applicable in the same ways.
Yeah. What about versus Peach?
Not even close.
I mean, like, so let me okay, explain your reasoning.
I think because if Peach is high enough, she can control her drift really well with float.
Okay.
And so, like, she can actually, like, whiff punish your moves. And so you have to be a lot more careful about where, like, even if she's below the stage, if she's floating and you go for a runoff fair and she, like, drifts back in, like, that's danger zone.
Sure.
I think the options are all, like, what hits what where is all pretty much the same. But the risk reward of those options is much different.
Okay. So we do agree. You're just leaning into the risk, the danger side, because the point I was going to make is, while the mechanics of how we posture and position in these spots will vary a little bit, we still represent threats and like cover space in the same way.
Yeah.
Because like if she's like, let's say like Peach is you're saying Peach is ambiguous. Okay, let's say this is Peach and she's floating at this height, right? And she starts coming in here. Well, what do we do?
Yeah, we just run off fair
or detail their jab.
Yeah, I think
because there was overlap.
Like the difference here is not because Marth can always hit the same places with the same moves. So this same diagram is applicable. It's just whether or not, like, versus Fox, for example, that's up being, there's no other thing he can do. So realistically, if you apply this flowchart perfectly, then it's completely safe in all scenarios. Whereas Peaches, if against like a Puff or a Peach or something, like they're more actionable in the air.
Of course.
So that changes.
Playing neutral
that
kind of.
Changes the calculation. Yeah, you're still playing neutral.
Yeah, you're playing like a very like advantageous neutral, but it's not really quite advantage state, and it's not really quite like edge guarding. It's like it's kind of like edge guarding, but like it's a softer form. Like we're not going to get, because this would be short hop off
Right.
there. But like, yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I think like the big thing here is like we want to like. So how do you think this flow chart varies against Peach? Because like ultimately, if she's floating at like say here, because our short hop fair will actually go like higher, because it will, we're jumping into it, so the range on it will be like here instead of like further back. So how do you think we want to like structure this versus Peach? What do you think goes into like dealing with a more actionable character with this?
Against Peach, because her up B is a lot shorter, we don't have to concern ourselves with covering a lot of the lower angles nearly as much. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Second is, because she's floatier, if we are going to hit her with we are going to want to hit her with either an immediate kill move or be more cognizant of what leads into a kill move if we're hitting her with like a weak fair or something. What else? Thoughts?
So let's talk about kill moves for a second. So do we like, how often would you say more like, do we have to necessarily, do we have to necessarily hit a kill move on Peach? I feel like if she's floating, like she's floating right now, she has all her stuff.
Yeah.
If she's coming back to us like this, she can move forward and back. What is the best way that we can like keep her away from, like, what are our goals in this situation? Because I'm thinking we want to remove height from her. I'm not sure, like,
it just occurred to me that she's already burned her float if she's in this position.
Yeah, like if we hit her, she doesn't have another one.
Yeah, so the idea is to get her low enough that it's like like if we can't kill her outright, then we want to like iterate, and each iteration she expends some resource that she doesn't get back until she has nothing left and dies.
Yeah. So like, how would we defend this space? What's the most effective way we can do that?
The low hitbox of fair. So maybe we could do like a full hop fair, rising full hop fair or something.
Or run off double jump, or like short hop and forward, like drift back, that kind of thing.
Yeah. The lower hitboxes of fair work really well here.
Mm-hmm.
If we can convince her to come in, Adair is really strong. Like maybe intentionally whiff a fair, go low, double jump dare. That's super dangerous and probably a bad idea.
Yeah, just keep spamming fair. Like I like the missing is fine. I just keep spamming fairs.
Yeah. What can I do? We want to get her lower. We want her to fall. Short hop neutral B is kind of funny here.
Or we could just like short hop off stage, double jump back, and see if she and if she comes forward, then we fair. If she doesn't,
I guess we don't have to do anything. Empty movement is pretty effective here too.
Yeah, we just create a reaction point. So like we just go here, jump back, or like jump here, jump back. Either way, like we're just posturing. We don't have to swing if we don't have to, and we don't have to here because she's in disadvantage. So
yeah,
with that, let's say that she comes forward and gets hit by our fair, and she goes back to this spot because she's at like say 40. She died away. She's like, so she's smart. She knew to not get killed, get killed by the auto combo. But now she's over here, and she doesn't have her float anymore. So what does she do? She probably has to up B or like double jump, right?
Yeah, I think like a lot of Peaches will like kind of do a intentional drop down up B to try and sweet spot.
Okay, so she has to cross a lot of distance for that. Like for her
Well,
to do that, right? She'd have to go all the way over here, basically, with her like without a fast fall.
Yeah.
And then maybe she fast falls and like goes here and then uses her double jump and comes up, but like we
Peaches
see her
air dodge in a lot too. I see that one often.
Yeah. So let's say like let's say she goes here. She comes here and she like tries to come up with like as she's coming over here, what do we do?
We can grab ledge.
Look at all the zones
There's time to grab ledge.
I
guess that's risky because she can early up B.
It's just not needed. Like look at how much territory she's coming through of ours.
Yeah, so like at any point, any of these option zones that she's passing through become viable, depending on when when we decide to stage our reaction point.
Yeah, so like on the first one, like we hit her out of her float by just posturing here, like by just like fucking around in like this territory basically. So then the second one, we know she only has her double jump, so she comes down, but it doesn't do anything because it's slow coming up. So she starts falling here. So I'm thinking like to me, I don't know why we grab the edge. I just want to hit her.
Yeah, just run off fair on the way down works great.
Yeah. So then like what does she do? She probably goes here again. She's now here because she got hit again. So then she has to like double jump back like here to like and then up B's. Like that she has to do that, right?
Yeah.
So then she's like in up B. So she's got her little like parasol up here. So then what do we do?
She's got no float here too, and so she can only go like her only options are drift in, drift out, fast fall, and parasol.
Right,
like,
because she's slowly losing height on every like whenever she waits.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a point at which she can't actually make it back anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if we're hogging, like she'd probably have to be higher than this. She probably is like realistically up here, but like what I want to call attention to is
it's like it's like a 30-degree angle.
Yeah.
That's our line of no return.
Yeah. So as long as if she is below this line, then she is dead, and we don't have to interact with her.
Yeah, so that makes it really easy for us to cover just that particular range.
Yeah, so I'm going to give this to you.
We've got like 3 different kinds of fairs. We can just F smash from ledge. We can double jump dare. We can do anything our heart desires.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to look at, I know we're at time, but it's all good. But I wanted to look at the like a floaty here because I think that you have a lot of fear in like playing advantage state sometimes. And like I want to be like you are playing, and I get the fear because like it's like every time we get reversaled out of advantage, like it feels awful, and I've been there. But what I wanted to show you, like kind of illustrate, is like you've seen these structures in matches before. I'm pretty sure if we've opened like any like Mewtwo King Armada video or any Zane Laud, we can see this very structure being played out, like in at least in some of the recoveries, and it's powerful because you're using Marth's most efficient tools against a character who is in a spot that fundamentally does not favor them, because air-to-air is ultimately decided by the disjointed, like how exaggerated a disjoint is and how efficient it is, like how quickly it comes out. And Marth is the king of both of those things.
Yeah.
So we've armed you with a few new tools. We didn't really do much practical today, but like we've looked at like how we can like when we're watching our matches, how we can like map out the game states and kind of like see, because it's kind of like driving. Like we see the different things that happen before the turn, and it makes the turn easier. We've also given you like a map of like where people go off stage and how their like recoveries work. Overall, how you're feeling about these concepts? Like what's
This is good. One of the things that I haven't really had a lot of mental direction around has been the edge guarding sequences.
Yeah.
Like I've known like a few separate tricks, like hey, double jab if you on reaction to the side B, stuff like that, but not a good understanding of how all the pieces kind of fit together and this is a more complete map of that territory. And a way for me to conceptualize that, and, which I think is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's more to it because we're mainly focusing on the low positions here. But I think that like what you can probably tell is that like there's going to be a pretty like as long as you can kind of like get aligned, like get level with your opponent in some like to some degree, the fair arc really doesn't change. Like you can apply that fair arc to really any position that Marth can occupy. In the air and with a descending motion. So like if you're on a platform, for example, like or if you full hopped, it's going to have the same kind of like shape to it,
right?
Which is also how like part of how you get high recoveries. This won't beat every recovery. Like there's still a need for his other tools. Like his back air isn't really vital like part of like how he like kind of like Marth. A lot of beating Marth is like understanding the movement of his sword, and a lot of winning with Marth is understanding like how we adjust our strike to like catch somebody who is like operating around a particular motion.
Right? Like someone runs under early fare or late fare, then we like, early fare to catch them on the way in, stuff like that.
Or like we down air. Like that would be a great, like we've been, you like down air, so like, but like early fare absolutely works. But yeah, like this is a spot also where we could strongly consider down airing, for example, because if they're running directly under us, like down air grab, like, and what's good about down air grab there is that, I mean, when some people run in on Marth, like, it's all about, like, it's kind of like attention to detail matters on him a lot, because when somebody runs in on Marth, they're usually holding down to, like, play off his, like, the weakness of his, like, low knockback. But, like, this is where down air is actually a really good call-out in that spot, if the fare doesn't knock them over yet. Or if there's a chance that they can get in on us and take the too quickly and tank the hit of, like, the soft hit of the rising fare. Because, like, then the down air just says, none of that matters because this is a spike. It's fine. But I think yeah. But I think this is enough for, like, is this enough for you to get started? And do you need anything before we call it for the night?
No, I think this is great. This is I've been feeling like my edge guards have, like, my edge guarding flowchart has been lacking, and that wasn't even something that we even talked about before this lesson. Just kind of we arrived at that here. So I think that's good. So one, props to you for spotting that without me having to say anything. And this is exactly what I need for that, I think.
Amazing. If you notice anything interesting or find anything cool that you think I might like, let me know, and I'll leave you to it then. Have a good night, Deek.
Yeah, thanks. Talk to you later.